welcome to Polish with Ray. I'm Rachel, and today I'm going to be sharing with you some items that will be available in the December polish pickup shop. I cannot believe I just said that. Like, how is it already December? Before we get into the polishes, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. That lets me know you like my polish pickup videos. And if you're not already subscribed, well, hello, you totally should. I upload new live swatching videos every week reviewing upcoming collections. I do live streams, I do favorites videos and rack videos, and it's a fun time. So December's polish pickup theme is cozy vibes, and oh my gosh, I'm all about it. I got my blanket, I got my coffee. You go get yourself some coffee or tea because it's gonna be a long video. And so in creating their products, the makers drew inspiration from things that they felt were cozy. We've got lots of sweater inspo, blanket inspo, cabin inspo, fire inspo this month. It's really fun. This month's Polish Pickup Shop will open on December 3rd at 11 a.m. Eastern Time and will be open through December 6th. The shop always goes live for wish listing the Sunday before the shop opens. This month, that is November 28th. There's no set time, it's just like whenever they can get the shop ready, but it's usually sometime that afternoon. And so starting on the 28th, you'll be able to make your wish list and see all of the beautiful items that will be available in this month's shop. I do have around 30 items to share with you, but there's always so much more, like hundreds of items. And if you're new to shopping polish pickup, this is your very first time maybe even hearing about polish pickup, make sure you check out my description box. I'll have a bunch of details down there that will help make your shopping go more smoothly. So like I said, we do have a lot of items to look at today, especially purples. Purple lovers, you are in for a treat. So let's go ahead and get into the swatches. So if this is your first time joining me for a polish pickup review, I do swatch in rainbow order. But keep in mind, we do have a lot of purples. We do have a few reds though, so we're gonna start with those. This one is from Penelope Luz and it's called Hot Wine. It's described as being a gorgeous burgundy base with black and red micro flakies and some holographic micro gold glitter. It's going to retail for $13 and will have a 700 bottle cap, and it's inspired by the delicious beverage. So this polish is so stunning. I saw it in the Polish Pickup Pack Facebook group, which if you're not part of that group, highly recommend it. You'll be able to see lots of other swatches there. But I saw this in that group without seeing what brand created this beauty, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to have it. Application was so impressive as well. It was very opaque on that first coat, and as you can see, it is just jam-packed with those gold glitters and those micro flakies. I was able to reach full opacity for this one in 2 coats, but if you've got longer nails, I could see you maybe wanting 3. Because of the micro glitters in here, this one does dry with just a little bit of texture, but honestly, most of what you're looking at are flaky, so it smoothed out just fine for me with a regular glossy top coat. Those glitters also do make it just a little bit tough to remove. So here's what it looks like built up in 2 coats with a glossy top coat. The shifts in here are magnificent. We can get that deep burgundy, some brighter pinky toned red, and then at other angles like this, we get a bright orange, vibrant red. It's just so perfect for this time of year. Pictured are 2 coats of Hot Wine by Penelope Luz. We have a stunning red polish from KBShimmer this month. This one's called Totally Stoked, and it's described as being a warm red base showing glowing hues of orange, gold, and ember. It's also got a scattering of holographic flakes. This one's going to retail for $11. It will have no cap and is inspired by flickering fireplace flames. So this is one of those polishes that just looks completely different depending on your lighting situation. At some angles, it looks like more of a pinky red base. At others, it looks like a bright cherry red. And then at other angles, it almost looks like a purple leaning red base. But no matter your lighting, that gorgeous gold orange shimmer just warms it right up. And I definitely think this reminds me of beautiful flames in a fireplace. So cozy. I always love how KBShimmer polishes apply, and this one was no exception. It does have more of a jelly-like base, but it builds up absolutely to beautiful opacity in just 2 coats. I can't see anyone needing more than 2 coats for this one, even if you've got longer nails. So pretty. And I love the holographic sparkle as well. So here's what it looks like in 2 coats in the sunlight. The shimmer is so incredible in this one. It just glistens in the sun, and then in lower lighting, it almost looks like a multi-chrome effect because the shimmer is just incredibly reflective and almost metallic looking. Pictured are 2 coats of Totally Stoked by KBShimmer. Coming to the IPU shop this month, KBShimmer is also bringing us their sugar scrub in the scent Cafe Latte. This one has a scent description of dark, rich espresso, lightened by notes of cream and hints of sweet vanilla. It's priced at $10 and will have no cap. So I'll get into the scent in just a second, but I want to talk first about how I use this product. I use it every single week, sometimes more often than that, as both part of my nail care routine and part of my pedicure routine. Basically, I get the skin around my nails wet, I scoop out just a little bit, and gently, this is a more dense, sugary scrub. So you don't need to use much pressure, just very gently exfoliate, and it just buffs away the dead skin, leaving healthy, moisturized skin. I love it because it has ingredients that aren't too harsh. Along with the sugar, of course, it's got olive oil, castor seed oil, has cocoa seed butter, shea butter, and that just leaves my skin feeling nourished and not too dried out. As far as the scent of this product goes, it's not too heavily scented actually. I think even people who aren't coffee lovers, even though I am, I think even people who aren't coffee lovers would find this scent enjoyable. It's got a very gourmand scent. It's light, sweet, it leans a lot vanilla, a lot of cream, and then you get, of course, those strong notes of coffee as well, but it's just not too strong. Even as someone who enjoys coffee, I frequently find that coffee scented items can be a little bit too overbearing for me, but luckily this one isn't. And it was such a nice touch that this product kind of looks like a beautiful latte itself with a dark tan swirl mixed with the cream colors. It's really pretty. The final red I have to share with you this month comes from Leesha's Lacquer, and it's called Flannel PJs. It's described as being a juicy red flaky polish with a red to gold to green shift and matching red to gold to green flakies. It's going to retail for $12 and will have a cap of 150 bottles. So I definitely agree that the base is a beautiful juicy red. I do feel like it's coming off just a little bit more like a cherry red on camera, but because of all the flakies in there, and it feels like there's like a pink flash running throughout. At some angles, this polish almost appears to be like a more berry shade of red. Just want to throw that in there, but I think you'll see that on my comparison video that I add at the end, as well as in my swatch photos and videos. And as descripted as well, this one does have some beautiful iridescent flakies that flash red to gold to green. I feel like I see some purple in there as well as some gorgeous shimmer. On application, this one had a very smooth, squishy jelly formula. This one was a joy to put on. I was so thrilled about the opacity as well. I really couldn't see much, if any, nail line on that first coat, but I did want to even and smooth it out, so I did go in for a second coat and reached full opacity. If you've got longer nails, you might want 3 for this one, but it's not to add more opacity. It would just be to deepen up the color a little bit. So here's what this one looks like, built up in 2 coats in some lower outdoor lighting. You can see those flakies are like submerged in that beautiful jelly base, and it just has a fun squishy finish. Pictured are 2 coats of flannel PJs from Leesha's Lacquer. So I actually don't have any oranges to share with you, but this one's kind of a yellowish gold / green. So we're moving on to that category. This one is from Indie Polish by Patty Lopez, and it's called Baby It's Cold Outside. It's described as being a beautiful multi-chrome magnetic with Aurora shimmer. It's going to retail for $12.50 and has a low cap of 150 bottles. Remember that if you are hoping to shop some of these polishes that do have a lower cap, you're going to be want to be ready to go when the shop opens on December 3rd at 11 a.m. Eastern time. So this polish just is very complex in the bottle. I see gold, I see green, I see blue, and then when you magnetize, I see some beautiful red in there as well. Lots of different colors in this one. Someone said it reminds them of a tiger eye, and I totally see that in this polish. It's beautiful, very easy to magnetize, and just lots of fun. On application, this one had a wonderful opacity. I would even say this one would be super pretty built up on its own. You can kind of see what that looks like here. And then I go with the magnet, super sensitive, held it for 30 seconds, and this was the result. I went in for a second coat, and if you leave the first coat unmagnetized and then just magnetize the second, that I got full opacity with, but I could see the red flash best when I built it up to 3 coats and magnetized every coat. So here's what the third coat looks like magnetized. So beautiful. I do always hold my magnets for 30 seconds, but I kind of sped it up there. So here's what this one looks like built up in 3 coats, all 3 coats magnetized. You get the red, you get the gold, you get the green, some bronze, some like olivey green, lots of beautiful colors. Pictured are 3 coats of Baby It's Cold Outside from Indie Polish by Patty Lopez. For the indie pickup shop this month, Bygone Apothecary brings us their luxury hand cream. This 2-ounce tub is going to retail for $6 and will have a 100 tub cap. The scent this month is Tom and Jerry, not the cartoon. That's what I thought too. But apparently it's inspired by a delicious drink that I've never had before. It's a warm, creamy vanilla drink with notes of brown sugar and cinnamon, and is often served with a liquor of choice. In this case, it's got a splash of rum scent. This item will also include a mini spatula for scooping out the lotion to avoid contamination. It's a good size and just perfect for scooping out just a little bit of lotion, because a little does go a long way with this hand cream. I was so pleased to see that this hand cream had some ingredients that I typically look for when shopping for hand creams for myself. One of those is lanolin. Lanolin is a skin protectant that helps lock in moisture. So it's going to help protect your skin from those cold winter winds, which is so important as we're transitioning into colder weather here. It's also got aloe vera gel, which helps soothe irritation. And one of my favorite ingredients in lotion is urea, and this one has that too. Urea is actually kind of, I guess, an exfoliant. It's a keratolytic, and it helps break down keratin protein and kind of buffs away the dead skin cells. So definitely a lot of quality ingredients in this lotion. As far as the fragrance goes, this one is going to be more appealing to people who like powerful, sweet scents. So it's definitely not a light scent. I can smell it from about a foot away, and it's very gourmand, extremely sweet. Get lots of the vanilla and the butter, just a hint of the cinnamon, and a hint of the rum as well. Smells delicious, delicious. So if you usually like sweeter, heavier scents, definitely grab this. The next polish I have to share with you is from by Dany Vianna, and it's called Faerylit. It's described as being a pine jelly base with gold reflective glitters. It's going to retail for $13 and will have a 400 bottle cap. So the base of this one I would describe as more of kind of in the olive green family. It definitely has quite a bit of yellow in it, and as you can see, that just pairs so well with those beautiful gold holographic reflective glitters. So if you haven't worked with reflective glitter polishes before, they are so much fun. In regular lighting, they kind of just look like regular glitter crellies. You get a lot of the gold, you get a lot of the hollow. Maybe it's just a little bit extra sparkly, but where you see the true sparkle, like the stuff that I feel like has just gone viral on Instagram and other places too, is when you have that contrasted lighting. And I will show you what that looks like. So as far as application goes, this one does have more of a jelly-like base. It's very smooth and even and easy to work with. You get a lot of those glitters out with every coat. Because of the glitters, this one will be just a little bit tricky to remove. So you might want to use a peel-off base coat. It's not impossible. They are small glitters, but I used a peel off base coat. It actually looked great in 2 coats, but I did have just a slight bit of patchiness, so I went in for 3 and it was absolutely beautiful. So here's what it looks like built up in 3 coats in my studio lighting. And then here's what it looks like in the dark with my flashlight on it. And I apologize for the low quality. This video was taken with my phone because that's the best way to see that beautiful, reflective, sparkly glitter quality. So here's what it looks like built up in 3 coats in just regular studio lighting. And as you can see, those glitters are super sparkly, very holographic, and this is just a really fun polish. Pictured are 3 coats of Faerylit from by Dany Vianna. And now we're moving on to our blues, purples, blurples, indigos. We have a lot of them. This one is called Dip Your Tips. It's from Sassy Sauce. And this one is a thermal. It's like a sapphire blue when it's cold. That's what you're seeing on the camera now. And then as it warms up, it turns into a pale blue shade. It's got a strong pink to red shift and green to blue to violet shifting ghost flakes. It's going to retail for $12.50 and will have a 500 bottle cap. So I am absolutely in love with the flakes in this polish. As you can see, we get a great variety in size. Some are quite large, some are a little bit more on the dainty side. And at certain angles, because they're ghost flakes, they totally disappear. And then once you shift your hand and you can see them, wow, they make a huge impact. And I also want to add that the pink shift in this is really evident on the nail. This polish was such a joy to apply. It went on smooth, very even, great opacity on the first coat. Like, I've been very impressed with the Sassy Sauce polishes I've tried so far. Now, I think in its cold state, you could stick with 2 coats, but because it is a thermal and it warms up to a lighter shade, I would recommend 3 for this one, just so you have as much opacity as possible. So here's what it looks like in its cold state. It's a gorgeous, deep blue. I don't know that I'd quite call it quite a sapphire blue. It's a little bit more purple leaning than that to me. And then here's what it looks like built up in 3 coats in its warm state. It's just a soft powder blue, absolutely wonderful for winter. And again, I love the pink shimmer and the ghost flakes. They just really make this polish interesting. Pictured are 3 coats of Dip Your Tips from Sassy Sauce Cold and 3 coats warm with a glossy top coat. DRK Nails is bringing us a beautiful thermal polish this month. It's called Warm Breeze Cozy Beach, and it is a deep blurple when cold. That's what you're looking at now. And as it warms up, it turns to a bright violet color. And as you can see, it is completely packed with those gorgeous iridescent flakies. I see pink, I see blue, and I even see a little bit of copper in there. This one's going to retail for $12.90 and will have a 500 bottle cap. So the maker, Katya, knows that some people are hesitant to buy thermals because eventually the thermal pigment does die and the polish doesn't transition anymore. So to encourage you to take the chance on this one, Katya is going to promise to replace your bottle in case it shows up dead on arrival. So if you get your bottle of polish, it won't transition for you. The maker is going to replace it. And then she's also offering a 2-year warranty. So if it stops transitioning in the next 2 years, you have a warranty. On application, this one has a beautiful jelly formula. You can see that it looks more purple here on this first coat, but as you build it up, it truly is towing the line between blue and purple. This one I needed to build up to 3 coats to get full opacity, and it was worth every coat. It got really deep and dark on that 3rd coat, and the flakies really contrast nicely against that indigo base. So pretty. Look at all those flakies. There's some bigger ones and smaller ones. So I actually didn't realize that this was a thermal when I swatched it the first time. Oops. So I did show you here what it looks like in its warm state. It is a beautiful bright violet color, and those flakies look totally different in this lighter purple base. It's really pretty. So here's what it looks like built up in 3 coats and some lower outdoor lighting. The base for this one is just so incredibly squishy. It looks like a blurple ocean. And then the pond effect created by those flakes is incredible. They're so glowy. Pictured are 3 coats of Warm Breeze Cozy Beach from DRK Nails. DRK Nails is also bringing us their Wonder Oil to the IPU shop this month. This 10 milliliter squeeze tube is going to retail for $12.90 and will have a 120 tube cap. So this was my first time using this oil and I'm very impressed. I'll touch on the ingredients first. So it has a jojoba oil base, which really helps it sink into the skin quickly without leaving any greasiness. The lime and lavender oil help create this beautiful spa-like fragrance. It's very soothing and pleasant smelling without being overbearing. And then of course the vitamin E and castor oil help moisturize, and castor oil also helps promote hair and nail growth. So love seeing that ingredient in here too. I like the dispenser. It's got a squeeze tube that's easy to control. You just apply the smallest amount of pressure to the tube, touch it to your cuticles, and you get the perfect amount of product. You really don't need to worry about getting too much out with this dispenser, this applicator, which I really do appreciate. Highly recommend this oil and I can't wait to use it more. Continuing on with our bluish purples, Bee's Knees Lacquer brings us Solstice Gift. This one's described as being a pale lavender pastel multi-chrome with silver metallic flakes. It's going to retail for $13, will have no cap, and is inspired by a quart of frost and starlight. This one actually has the same formula as Guishin from a few months prior, so it may dry with some texture. Personally, I did not experience any texture when this dried down. It didn't have a smooth glossy finish, but it was not in need of like a glitter smoother or anything like that. I definitely agree that this one would fit into the lavender category, but sometimes when I look at it, depending on the lighting, it does seem to be a little bit more blue than it does purple, so keep that in mind. This one to me is just the epitome of winter. It reminds me of when you scrape ice off your car and those shavings that your scraper picks up. That's this polish and I love it, even though I hate scraping my car. On application, this one had a jelly base. It was almost clear, and then it's got a lot of those gorgeous lavender flecks pigments inside of it, and then of course the gorgeous platinum flakies as well. I built it up in 3 coats, but at certain angles I could still see some nail line. Even though I'm not a fan of Vianna, it didn't bother me because this polish is so reflective, as you can see, that I'm not paying attention to my nail line. So here's what it looks like built up in 3 coats. It's highly reflective, super shiny, and just, to me, winter in a bottle. Absolutely perfect. Pictured are 3 coats of Solstice Gift from Bee's Knees Lacquer. Next up, I have Garden Path Lacquer's contribution called Snow Can Wait. Oh, this one I had the hardest time putting in this color order because it's one of those polishes that could fit anywhere. I feel like I see every color in this. But the maker describes it as being a gray, green, beige, or grayish question mark? Beige, see, even she's like, I don't know, not sure. With red to orange to green multi-chrome shimmer and pink shifting iridescent flakes. It's going to retail for $13 and will have no cap, and it's inspired by a quiet winter forest on the precipice of the first snow of the season. So when I looked at this, I do see it's kind of a greyish base, but I think you can see on the corners there, it felt a little bit violet-y to me, like a dusty, inky kind of purple. So I did put it with the purples. I put it with the reds for a while because the flash to red in this one is so strong. Like those gorgeous shifting, pink shifting flakes are out of control. And then it's got a strong green shift as well. See, doesn't the base look a little bit purple? But that just might be the pink in here playing with the base color. Anyway, application for this one was great. I should have gotten a little more polish on my brush here, but it was smooth. It has a jelly formula, very squishy, and will need a few coats to build up to opacity. I ended up going in for 3, even though I think I could have stuck with 2 if I would have gotten a little thicker on my coats. But in 3 coats, of course, I did reach full opacity. I can't see anyone not reaching opacity in 3 coats with this polish. And that just really deepened up the base color and let there be so much beautiful pink and flaky goodness in this polish. So here's what it looks like built up in 3 coats and some lower outdoor lighting. You can see all of the shifts, the pink, there's some gold, there's some green, there's some grayish. And then here's what it looks like in the sunlight. You get so much of that glorious pink flakes, and the shimmer just sparkles in the sun. Pictured are 3 coats of Snow Can Wait from Garden Path Lacquers. This month, Linby Designs brings us a wax melt in the scent Simple Pleasures. It's going to retail for $5 and will have a cap of 110. The scent description is it smells like fresh baked bread slathered in butter and sprinkled with cinnamon sugar. It's inspired by bakery scents and cinnamon toast. Oh my goodness, if I hadn't just eaten a bunch of Thanksgiving leftovers, I would be so hungry right now reading that description. I've actually melted a little bit of this already and it smells fantastic. Based on the description, I would be a little bit wary that it would be too sweet and would give me a headache. But if you like bakery scents, but you don't like overly sweet scents, I think you're going to love this one. Oh, it smells like bread. Like I feel like I just baked something really delicious in my house. And as you can see, the wax is cream colored, but it has these really cute little delicate shifty flakies in there. It's just a nice touch. Linby Designs also brings us a beautiful polish this month. It's called Treat Yourself, and it's described as being a deep blurple base. See, lots of blurples this month, with teal to green to blue to purple shifting shimmer, linear holographic, and scattered holographic flakes. It's going to retail for $13 and will have no cap. Thank goodness, because this is one of my favorite polishes being offered this month. I don't really pick favorites when it comes to PPU because there's too much. I can't possibly. But this one I wore for several days. I got tons of compliments and it was one of those polishes that I had it on and I saw people looking and I was like, did you forget to say something? My polish is beautiful. Like I loved it so much. I would say that the base leans a little bit more like a lilac-y color than a blurple. It's a little bit sheer on application, but look at all of that gorgeous shimmer you get out on the first coat. Lots of holographic flecks as well. It built up nice on the second coat, but on the third coat, I did reach full opacity and I love this polish. It's so pretty. It's one of those I'm contemplating getting a second bottle because I just really enjoyed wearing it. So here's what it looks like built up in 3 coats. In my bright lighting, I do see a little bit of visible nail line, but honestly, it was not really noticeable in person. And as you can see, the shimmer shifts from a bright green to like a more aqua color, and it just complements that purple base so beautifully. Pictured are 3 coats of Treat Yourself from Linby Designs. Another top pick from this month comes from Rogue Lacquer, and it's called Comfy and Snowy. It's described as being a pale gray toned purple holographic with holographic flakes and a glowy red to gold shimmer. It's going to retail for $13 and will also thankfully have no cap. It's inspired by that pale winter feel. Oh, this one is calling to me as well. I love purple. I love pink. And the amount of holographic in this polish is just absolute insanity. I was thankfully able to get some video of it in some outdoor lighting so you can see just how amazing it is. But the purple is just a soft, beautiful pale purple that I think would be gorgeous in winter, but in spring as well. And then the shimmer shifts from like this bold pink to this more coppery shade. It's fantastic. I was so pleased with how this one applied, especially for a color this light. It went on smooth and surprisingly opaque. I was able to reach full opacity at my nail length in just 2 coats, but if you've got longer nails, maybe you'd need 3 for this one, but honestly, I think 2 would be good for most people. Look at all that hollow. It's crazy. So here it is built up in 2 coats in sunlight. Look at all that glorious shimmer. It shifts from pink to copper to gold to green, and I even saw blue at extreme angles. This one is just a showstopper. It's all that in a bag of chips. Pictured are 2 coats of Comfy and Snowy from Rogue Lacquer. Rogue Lacquer is bringing their Take It Off soy-based nail polish remover to the IPU shop this month. This 2-ounce jar is going to retail for $7 and will have a 100 bottle cap. This one is very lightly scented with the smell of zucchini bread, and it's super light. I don't think you would notice it if you weren't actively smelling it. But it is a pleasant scent. I do enjoy it. So This was my first experience using soy-based nail polish remover. I've never tried it because I just didn't think it would be very effective, but I was wrong. I do believe and agree that this one is going to take more patience than your regular acetone remover. If that's what you're used to using, this one does work a little bit slower, but it's very effective. I just removed a polish with some micro glitters using this, and I have no residual micro glitters on my nail, and it came off and my nail is looking hydrated and feels like moisturized and not dried out. It's kind of crazy. So I will probably be buying a backup bottle of this. I think it's something great to have as part of your nail routine, especially in the winter, to keep your skin and your cuticles from getting too dehydrated. So definitely a fan of this product. This month, Bluebird Lacquer brings us Socket to Me. I don't have description and details for this one yet, so I'm going to do my best to describe it, but I would say it's a very light pink leaning purple base with a strong red to pink to copper flash. It might even be a multi-chrome shimmer because it's very reflective, and tons and tons and tons of holographic micro flakies. I was fortunately able to swatch this one, or show my swatch of this one in the sunlight, and they glow like nothing else. It's incredible. This one actually is another standout for me this month. The base color, in my opinion, is super flattering. The holographic is amazing, and the shimmer is super flashy. You can see it glowing in the bottle. Wow. And considering we have so many purple shades kind of in the same family, the fact that it stood out to me speaks volumes. I was also so impressed with the formula. If you've used Bluebird Lacquer Scattered Holographic Formula before, I would say this one is very consistent to the others I've tried of Lucy's. It's very opaque on that first coat. Tons and tons of holographic flakies come out, and I did reach full opacity in 2 coats. I think most people will be able to get that opacity in 2 as well. Wow. So here's what it looks like built up in 2 coats in the sunlight. Just so sparkly, so glitzy, and some holographic flakes just kind of look silver. These truly are holographic, and you can see the rainbow and the shimmer and the base. It's just a lot of sparkle. It's a lot, a lot of sparkle. Pictured are 2 coats of Socket to Me from Bluebird Lacquer. This month, Cuticula brings us Unwind. It's described as being a cool-toned lavender curly base with rose gold flakes. It's going to retail for $13. It will have no cap, and it was inspired by the calming effects of lavender. So there's something so beautiful about the simplicity of this polish. Cuticula does these rose gold flaky polishes just so well. Some of my favorite Cuticula shades have these rose gold flakes, and I just love the pairing of them with this cool toned lavender purple base. It's really soft. It's very calming, as the name suggests. And it's another one that I think could take you from winter into spring. On application, Unwind had a beautiful, smooth, curly base. It went on so easily. I love Cuticula's brush, and it dispensed a ton of those flakies. I did need to build it up to 3 coats to get full opacity and to get that gorgeous, rich, beautiful lavender shade. Look at those flakies. They're so pretty with that lavender base. I love them so much. So here's what Unwind looks like built up in 3 coats. As you can see, those rose gold flakies are such a soft, dainty, delicate pairing with that soft purple base. Anytime Cuticula uses those rose gold flakies, I'm a fan. Pictured are 3 coats of Unwind from Cuticula. This month, Kathleen and Company brings us Huga Lights. It's described as being a light lilac base loaded with gold to bronze shifting shimmer and reflective pigment that flashes bright purple when the light hits it. It's going to retail for $13, and there will be no cap. So we've definitely seen an increase in the number of makers who are using this reflective pigment in their polishes this month. I actually have one more in addition to this one and the By Dany Vianna one to share with you. But my general rule for the reflective pigment polishes is it's kind of like a party trick. It's really cool that the polishes are able to do that, but in most lighting situations, you will not see that reflective pigment. So it's so important to me that the polish isn't only beautiful when it's reflecting the light in the dark with the flashlight shining on it, but it's also really beautiful in everyday lighting, which you can see this one so is. It's got a gorgeous like orchidy purple pink base, and then the gold to bronze shimmer in here is incredible. It's so sparkly, so reflective. This one was a little bit sheer on that first coat, but I was able to reach full opacity in 3 coats. Look at all of that sparkle. And like I said, this is just regular studio lighting. It's so pretty. So here's what it looks like built up in 3 coats. That shimmer is dazzling. And then here's what it looks like in the dark with flashlight shining on it. You can see all of those purple reflex. It's amazing. And it kind of transforms. It goes from a purple with gold to just a dazzling purple. Here's what it looks like built up in 3 coats in my studio lighting. That gold shimmer, I mean, it is crazy. It reminds me of flames. It's so bright and vibrant. And as if it wasn't pretty enough when showing off that reflective pigment and in bright lighting, here's what it looks like in some lower outdoor lighting. It just reminds me of a sunset. Glitters in here will make it a little bit difficult to remove, but it smoothed out just fine with a glossy top coat. Pictured are 3 coats of Hygge lights with a glossy top coat. We have another reflective beauty from Dom Nail Polish this month. It's called Naps on Cloud 9, and it's described as being a purple polish with ultra reflective silver glitters and assorted white glitters. As you can see, they are of the hex variety and come in different sizes. This one's going to retail for $12.50 and does have a 300 bottle cap. I wouldn't be even a little bit surprised to see this one completely sell out and sell out quickly because 300 is a pretty low cap and this polish is insanely unique and super beautiful. So as the description states, it's a really soft, I think kind of grapey but light purple shade, and it's packed with those silver reflective glitters and lots of those white hexes. I would say that the reflective micro glitters in here are of the larger variety out of all of the reflective glitters that I've worked with. So I think this one is going to be very difficult to remove. I did use a peel off base coat, but you're either going to want to do that or soak it off. And it does dry down to a matte textured finish. So you are going to want to use a glitter smoother and a glossy top coat for this one to really give it that shine, unless you love it textured. So on application, I was very impressed with how well those white hexes came out. They were really easy to apply and tons of them came out on the first coat. I was able to reach full opacity with this one in 2 coats, and really I wouldn't recommend anyone going past 2 coats. It's on the chunkier side with all those glitters, so I think 2 coats is where you want to be. So here's what it looks like built up in 2 coats with regular lighting. And then here's what it looks like under my low quality flashlight lighting. Again, you're only going to see this kind of beautiful reflect if you're in the dark and you've got some additional lighting sources. Like I've heard at nighttime under street lamps, this looks amazing, this kind of reflective glitter. So here's what it looks like built up in 2 coats and regular lighting with a glitter smoother and a glossy top coat. Wow, wow, wow. This polish is fantastic. The white gives it an extra pop, and then the silver, it's just a lot of sparkle going on. Pictured are 2 coats of Naps on Cloud 9 from Dom Nail Polish. And the final beautiful purple I have to share with you this month comes from Pampered Polishes. It's called Cozy Nights, and it's described as being a juicy, warm-toned purple base with a fiery pink shimmer and holographic and iridescent flakes. It's going to retail for $13, will have no cap, and is inspired by the warmth of a night inside watching a movie cuddled up in a blanket. Like my perfect night any time of year. Summer, spring, always. I'll take a movie night in. So the base of this purple is a lot richer than the other purples I've shown you so far. It's more of like a jewel tone, and then it does have a sparkly shimmer running throughout and a gorgeous flaky mix. Some of the flakes in here are very small and some of them are a little bit like longer. It's a very interesting mix and definitely unlike anything else I have in my collection. On application, this one had a smooth, even, easy to work with formula. It does have a jelly base, so I did get quite a bit of nail line, even though this one had great coverage on that first coat. I found that in order to get that rich, deep, grapey color that I found in the bottle, I needed to build it up to 3 coats. But I will say, if you've got shorter nails than I do or a less visible nail line, because mine is pretty prominent, you may be able to get away with 2 coats for this one. In 3 coats, you can see that base color really deepens up and it's so rich and beautiful. Really, really like this color. Here's what it looks like built up in 3 coats in some kind of sunny outdoor lighting. You can see the shimmer in here is so glowy that it almost creates like a shift in the polish. At certain angles, it appears to be a deeper purple, but as you move your hand, it almost has a shift to like a more magenta color, and the flakies just add a nice sparkle. Pictured are 3 coats of Cozy Nights from Pampered Polishes. This month from MTK Designs, we have Cuddles. It is described as a beautiful buttery thermal that is a light terracotta when cold. That's what you're seeing now. And as it warms up, it becomes a beautiful cream shade. It also has a gorgeous red shimmer running throughout. This polish is going to be $12 and will have no cap. So I would say the shimmer in here is on the subtle side, especially when this is in its cold state. It kind of is a little bit of a tonal shimmer. And I was a little hesitant about this polish and how it would look on me. Sometimes these terracotta peachy shades just aren't the most flattering on my medium skin tone, but I actually was pleasantly surprised with how much I liked this one. On application, this one was super smooth and easy to work with. It does lean just slightly crelly in that you can see a little bit of my nail line on that first coat. However, I did reach full opacity with this polish in just 2 coats. You can kind of see there where it's already transitioned. I found that the transition for this polish was quite nice. Transitioned super easily on me. So here's what it looks like built up in 2 coats in its cold state. You see it got to full opacity. Here's what it looks like built up in 2 coats in its cold state outdoors. You can see that red shimmer running throughout and sparkling in the sun. And then here's what it looks like in its warm state. It turns into this really soft, pretty cream color. And actually, now that I'm looking at it, it kind of reminds me of like a creamsicle shade. Really fun. Pictured are 2 coats of Cuddles from MTK Design Cold. And then here's what it looks like in its warm state with a glossy top coat. We get a pretty pink from Wildflower Lacquer this month. This one's called Bunny Slippers, and it's described as being a light pink base with red to gold to green shifting shimmer and scattered pink to orange crystal flakes. This one's going to retail for $13. It will have no cap, and it was inspired by Rose from the Golden Girls Frozen Bunny Slippers. So this polish has a really soft, ethereal pink base, and then I love how those crystal flakes look against it. They do shift as described from pink to orange, but you can see that at certain angles, they kind of take on a bluish hue, sometimes more purple, sometimes more green. So it just creates a really ethereal look. So built up on its own, this one is absolutely beautiful, but it is quite sheer. So I also decided to layer it over a blurring base coat. I'll have which one I used linked in the description box. So as you can see on that first coat, it's quite sheer. You get a whole lot of that gorgeous red shimmer, and bright lighting, it glows a bright red, and lots of those iridescent flakies too. The base color for this one on the nail, it's just kind of like a whisper of a base color, like barely there, super soft. What you see on the nail most are those gorgeous crystal flakes and the shimmer. So built up in 3 coats with the blurring base, I did reach full opacity or very close to it, but like I mentioned, without a blurring base, with just a regular base coat, this one does show quite a bit of nail line. So radiant and fabulous. This polish really does take on whatever color you layer it on top of. I saw some swatches of it over other shades and I actually wasn't too big of a fan. I like it best on its own, but now I'm kind of curious what it would look like layered over a different like soft pink cream. I'm gonna have to try that. So here's what it looks like built up in 3 coats completely on its own. The shimmer is strong. I get a lot of that copper, the red. You can see the shift to green here. And then those flakies are so beautiful too. Pictured are 3 coats of bunny slippers from Wildflower Lacquer. This month, Unicorn Magic Skincare brings us their deluxe acetone additive in the scent Warm Vanilla Sugar. It smells just like the Bath & Body Works scent, so if you're a fan of that, you will really enjoy the smell of this. If you haven't used an acetone additive before, I highly recommend you try it out. They are miracle workers. Basically what you do is you add about half of this container into an 8 to 10 ounce bottle of pure acetone, and it adds some skin protecting properties to the acetone to help prevent it from being so harsh on your skin and your nails. If you're a fan of Zoya Remove Plus, Zoya Remove Plus is just acetone and then glycerin. So this is going to have the acetone from your nail polish remover, and then you add this, which has the glycerin, and it also has jojoba oil, olive oil, argan oil, and vitamin E. So it's going to be even more moisturizing than Zoya Remove Plus and a whole lot cheaper. So definitely recommend you giving this a try. I will say Unicorn Magic Skincare makes some of my favorite acetone additives too. This month, Glisten and Glow brings us Hygge Life, which is described as being a slightly peach-tinted ivory curly base with rainbow iridescent flakies. It's going to retail for $13 and will have no cap. And it's inspired by the Danish word hygge and the life that it represents. So this polish is basically exactly what I've been looking for the past month, and I was so thrilled when it came in. I wore a manicure last month that was a soft kind of off-white base like this without the beautiful flakies, and I loved the look of it, but it took like 4 coats to build up to opacity. It was still a little bit patchy, so I've just been on the lookout for something that's going to give me that clean, fresh, refined, delicate look, and this is the one. It's the perfect palette cleanser, and those gorgeous rainbow iridescent flakies are just the icing on top of the cake. They're so subtle, but they add a lot of interest to the polish. On application, I was blown away by this polish. First of all, finding a polish this light that is this opaque basically like never happens. It's also super smooth, very even coverage, no patchiness on application, and it built up to full or almost full opacity for me in 3 coats. Coming to the IPU shop this month from Glisten and Glow is their award-winning top coat. It's going to retail for $7.50 and will have no cap. I'm probably going to pick up an extra bottle of this in the shop this month because I'm not kidding. I've probably gone through 10 bottles of this top coat this year. Most of which I've purchased myself because I can't get enough of this top coat. It dries super fast for me in between 1 and 2 minutes, and it just gives the nail polish a beautiful, wet, gel-like shine. It's fantastic. So here I'm applying 1 coat of the Glisten and Glow top coat to Hygge Life, and wow, does it make those flakies pop or what? This is the top coat that I've used throughout this video and that I use in so many of my videos because I can't get enough. It's so fantastic. So here's what Hygge Life looks like built up in 3 coats with that glossy top coat. Just such a palette cleanser. It looks fresh. It looks clean. I'm probably going to put this on my winter rack because I want to wear it again soon. Definitely a fan of this polish and of the top coat. Pictured are 3 coats of Glisten and Glow Hygge Life with their glossy top coat. And finishing up with some more neutrals here from Night Owl Lacquer this month, we have Kitty Snuggles, cutest name ever, and it's described as being an eggshell white curly base with bright turquoise hollow glitters and rose gold flakes. It's going to retail for $12 and will not have a cap. Oh, I really love this polish too. It's a huge standout for me this month. The base isn't like a stark white. I definitely agree with the description that it's an eggshell white. It's just slightly less bright than a stark white. And I just think the glitters and flakies in here are incredibly playful and unexpected. Glitter polishes aren't my favorite because they just take a little bit more love than other polishes, other finishes. But this one, doesn't matter. It's worth all the love because the glitters and the flakes just play together so nicely. That turquoise, that rose gold. I don't have any other polish like this. Application was smooth and so easy to work with. Those glitters come out plentifully and they spread out easily all on their own, no need for placement. Once again, I was so impressed with the opacity of this polish for it being such a light color. I actually felt comfortable leaving it at just 2 coats, although if you've got longer nails, you might need 3, but I thought it was beautiful in 2. Look how gorgeous that combo is. Oh, so fun. So here's what it looks like built up in 2 coats. I did add a glitter smoothing top coat to get a plump gel-like finish. And then of course went on with the glisten and glow top coat, and it smoothed out beautifully. Because of the glitters, it will be a little bit tricky to remove, but they're worth it because look at that holographic. So, so pretty. Pictured are 2 coats of Kitty Snuggles from Night Owl Lacquer. We've got just a few more items to look at. This month, Cupcake Polish brings us Sweet Slumber, which is described as being a gray cream nail polish filled with pink and silver metallic flakes. It's going to retail for $13 and will have no cap. So this polish is different from, I think, anything I've ever seen Cupcake come out with. And I really like that. It's got a soft, medium dove gray base, and then we're getting more of those rose gold flakies. They're really popular this month and I'm loving it, as well as some silver metallic flakes. So on the nail, this one is going to be highly reflective, super shiny, and I think very relaxing and pretty for winter. Sweet Slumber had a very jelly leaning base. It ended up being pretty squishy on application, which I'm always a fan of. And I was able to reach full opacity in just 2 coats. If you've got longer nails, I could see you maybe needing 3 for this one. So here's what it looks like built up in 2 coats. I think the shade of gray is very flattering. It doesn't leave too warm or too cool or too light or too dark. And I love these kinds of gray colors in the winter time. Also, love the flaky mix, super reflective. Pictured are 2 coats of Sweet Slumber from Cupcake Polish. Heather's Hues brings us their Wits, or What Is This Sorcery lotion in the scent Peppermint Hot Cocoa. It's going to retail for $7.25 and will have a 50 tub cap. So the scent description for this is it's described as having notes of warm hot chocolate and melted marshmallow, as well as hints of peppermint and vanilla bean. I definitely agree with that description. I would say that primarily when smelling this fragrance, I get a lot of the hot chocolate, a little bit of marshmallow, and just a tiny amount of peppermint. Definitely heavy on the chocolate and definitely reminds me of a delicious cup of hot cocoa. If you haven't tried Heather's Hues Wits Lotion before, they're one of my absolute favorite moisturizers because they go on so nicely on the skin. They are not too heavy, they're not greasy, they're nice and light, but still very moisturizing. They have a lot of nourishing ingredients like avocado oil, sweet almond oil, bran oil, jojoba extract. It's got chia seed oil, vitamin E, glycerin, shea butter, aloe vera, and quite a few other oils to help keep your moisture locked in, especially as we approach the colder months. This lotion does have nut and seed oil, so if you have sensitivities to those, do keep that in mind. The final item I have to share with you today is also from Heather's Hues. They're bringing us a beautiful thermal called Cuddly and Cozy. It's described as being a black to deep teal green thermal kissed with hollow teal glitters and black to red to orange multi-chrome flakes. It's going to retail for $12.50 and will have a 200 bottle cap. Once again, this is a polish with a really low cap that I wouldn't be even a little bit surprised to see sell out. It's super unique in my opinion and to my collection, and I was really impressed with it. You're currently seeing it in its cold state, which is a black color, and those teal glitters and red to black to orange multichrome flakes just pop so well and contrast so nicely against that deep dark base when this is in its cold state. On application, this one definitely had a jelly base that allows all of those glitters and flakes to glow through that deep dark black color in the cold state. I needed 3 coats to reach full opacity. It looked nice in 2 coats, but I knew it wasn't quite as dark as it should be, so I did go in for a third. And you can see already kind of how quickly this one transitions on me. So it's black, and then here's what it looks like in its warm state, a little sneak peek for you. And like I said, in 3 coats, this one was absolutely perfect, especially in that warm state. So here's what it looks like in its cold state, kind of black and trying to get to its warm state. Really pretty. Here's what it looks like built up in 3 coats in its cold state with a glossy top coat. Look how the red to orange flakies and those teal glitters just sparkle in that dark base. And then here's what Cuddly and Cozy looks like in its warm state. You can see a little bit of the black still on my tips there, but whoa, it's a really unique color. Seriously, like a blackened teal. And once again, we're getting a great pop from those flakes. Pictured our 3 coats of Heather's Hues Cuddly and Cozy Cold and 3 coats warm with a glossy top coat. Now we're going to take a look at all of the polishes swatched in the same order as they appeared in the video, first in sunlight and then in lower lighting. That first deep burgundy is Penelope Luz. In the middle now we have the KBShimmer. That squishy cherry red is Leesha's Lacquer. The magnetic is Indie Polish by Patty Lopes, and the olivey green is by Dany Vianna. With the big flakes is Sassy Sauce in its cold state. The more purple one is DRK Nails in its cold state. With the platinum flakes is Bee's Knees Lacquer. The more inky purple with the pink flash is Garden Path Lacquers. The lighter purple with the green flash is Linby Designs. The bluer purple with the pink flash is Rogue Lacquer. The more pinky purple with the hollow flakes and the pink flash is Bluebird Lacquer. With the rose gold flakes is Cuticula. With the gold flash is Kathleen & Co. With the white glitters is Dom Nail Polish. And then that dark purple on the side end there is Pampered Polishes. The corally terracotta is MTK Designs in its cold state. Then we've got Wildflower Lacquer. The whitish peach is Glisten and Glow. The glitter crelly is Night Owl Lacquer. The gray is Cupcake Polish. And at the end is Heather's Hues in its cold state. Taking a look at them one more time, but this time in lower lighting to catch those beautiful shifts. The deep burgundy is Penelope Luz. The lighter shimmer is KBShimmer. With the flakes is Leesha's Lacquer. The magnetic is Indie Polish by Patty Lopes. And that bright green is by Dany Vianna. With the larger flakes is Sassy Sauce in its cold state. With the pinky flakes is DRK Nails in its cold state. With the platinum flakes is Bee's Knees Lacquer. With the inky base and the pink shift is Garden Path Lacquers. With the green flash is Linby Designs. With the soft pink shimmer is Rogue Lacquer. The more pinky purple there is Bluebird Lacquer. With the rose gold flakes is Cuticula. With a gold peach flash is Kathleen & Company. With the white hex glitters is Dom Nail Polish. And that jewel tone purple is Pampered Polishes. The corally terracotta is MTK Design. Then we've got Wildflower Lacquer with those beautiful flakes. The peachy cream color is Glisten and Glow. With the turquoise glitters is Night Owl Lacquer. The gray with the platinum flakes is Cupcake Polish. And there at the end in its cold state is the Heather's Hues. I hope this video and my comparisons were helpful for you today. If they were, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. So those are all the items I have to share with you for this month's Polish Pickup Shop. Let me know down in the comments what you've got your eye on, whether I shared it with you in today's video or not. There's so many pretty items this month that I can't resist doing a little shopping myself, so I will leave my wish list down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, you should check out some others I've posted recently. Earlier this week, I live swatched and reviewed the newest collection from Bee's Knees Lacquer, inspired by Empire of the Vampire. It's not indie, but I did recently live swatch and review the new China Glaze collection for holiday 2021. And I live swatched and reviewed KBShimmer's newest collection called In Good Spirits. I'll link those videos down in the description box so you can check them out if you want to. Hopefully this video was helpful for you today. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!